5 years, been from the very beginning with Keller Williams Larchmont, and loved our office very much from the very beginning. And we're always very happy to get new agents. Congratulations to all of you who have recently gotten your license, and welcome on board. I started 5 years ago, and seems still like it was yesterday. And I very well remember how it felt when I first started. So I have a pretty good idea how overwhelmed you might be feeling at the moment, just starting this brand new career, especially like in this like unprecedented times. But these are also the times of great opportunities. And that's why we are here to help you navigate through all of this, give you all the tools that you need, give you as much support as we can, as you definitely do need it at this point in your career. And you're lucky to be with our office because it really is a very supporting environment. Very nice agents who are there to help you, and I'm the same way. Like, I will be sharing my information with you, and I'm always happy to help and assist, to answer some of your questions, like help you figure out what's important, what's not that important, and what's most important right now. And the main message that I want to relate from today's class, apart from the subject matter, which we'll be talking about how to find and win the buyers, is that like in the very beginning, two things that you should all be concentrating on right now are just education and lead generation. Very important, and you need to dedicate your time and time block to do them every single day. And without that, you're not going to make any progress. And if you incorporate everything that we are telling you works, we have seen in our own examples how it works, and have learned from many other successful agents that have applied the same systems and the same procedures in their practice and succeeded. It will be successful for you as well. But it's very, very important just to stick with it, with time block, and be persistent. So the goal of Spark and Ignite is for you guys, like to get to be able to make the appointments, to get the clients, and to be able to help them, because that's the only way that you will be making a paycheck at the end of the day. This is what successful agents do every day. We grow our business and we run our business. And each one of these applies on different levels, just depending on where we are, like with deals or with our clients, whether they're buyers or sellers. But it is important that we don't forget to do both every day. So what sort of activities we need to concentrate on in order to grow our business? First of all, we need to lead generate, both for buyers and sellers. We need to make seller listing presentations and get the listings. We need to make and present our buyers presentations, and also get these clients first to sign the agreement and agree to work with us, and then help them find what they need and get them into contracts. And we also preview real estate, because it's very important that we understand the market, we know what's going on, and we can properly educate our clients as well. On the other hand, we have to make sure that we run our business. And if we have listings at the moment, we need to make sure that we are consistently marketing our seller listings, that we're showing buyers new properties. If we are in, like already, like under contract with our clients, we need to continue negotiating contracts after like inspections, after appraisal contingencies, like, and also like with the loan. And during that whole process, there are things that come up, or like that we, like our buyer clients, for example, gain new knowledge of the properties and based on them, or of the market, and based of them, we negotiate contracts. We need to deal with transaction management and in order to get to the closing date. We need to take care of vendor management, like if we need to help our clients find and select inspectors who will come and inspect the properties. We need to be constantly in touch with our buyers lender, for example. We, like, and be on top of everything, and whatever comes up, figure out the way to deal with the situation and to overcome the situation. We need to set our goals constantly and adjust them, whether they are daily goals, weekly goals, quarterly or yearly goals, and make sure that we're on track to complete them. We need to make sure that we are in compliance and taking care of all of the paperwork that's needed during the course of an escrow. We also need to attend different trainings in order to constantly keep being educated and aware of what's happening on the market, and know to properly adjust. And we also need to manage our own money and make sure that, like our business is profitable, that we're staying in business, and that we're constantly doing everything in order to grow our business. So growing business and running business are very interrelated, like as well, because one cannot be done without the other. If you're working on a deal, we can't focus only on that deal, because the deal will close hopefully a few weeks later, but we need to constantly make sure there is something else coming down the pipeline. And we have clients that, like we will be nurturing and getting to the point of getting into the next contract. Is everyone, can everyone hear me clearly? Does anybody have any questions so far?
Dragana, you sound great. It's, yeah, everything's
okay, great. Ed, I wanted to ask you just a quick question. I believe, like, once you started sharing the manual that all the participants got, I'm not able to access my file on the computers. Like, I wanted to go back to the instructor files, and there's a couple of other ones that I wanted to share. So, and I'm trying to press the escape button, but it's not letting me. I was wondering if you have any. Okay. Now it's working. Okay, perfect.
So the only thing is that, so I just took it off. I stopped screen sharing. So the class is not able to see. So we can just toggle back and forth if that works.
Okay, sounds good. So now that we've gone over what we need to do every single day, we need to concentrate on the agenda for the day today. Today's session is about how to find and win the buyers. And what we will be discussing is how to find these buyers, how to cultivate buyer leads, how to qualify these leads, and also how to make sure that our buyers sign the buyer agreement. First of all, I wanted to share some of the statistics with you. 2019 NAR profile of home buyers and sellers state that 89% of buyers purchase their home through a real estate agent, which is a great news for you because this is where you will be getting, like your clients. 41% of buyers found their agent through a referral from either their friends or family. This is also great news for you because realistically, most likely at the very beginning of your career, you will be getting your business from your friends and family and from your closest sphere of influence, because these are the people that know you, that have done business with you before, that have witnessed you, like doing whatever you were doing in your previous career. And they will feel confident recommending you to somebody else. 75% of buyers interviewed only one real estate agent during their home search. So it doesn't happen very often that they go and interview multiple agents, so there is higher chances if you keep listening for signs and for prompts, and if you follow up and if you show up for this, potential buyers and let them know that you are there to help them any way you can during their search, and making sure also that once they find that property, you're going to be there to make sure they get it and to make sure that they escrow close, and ask them for business and let them know how you can help them. There is a great chance that you will be working with these potential buyers, that you will end up representing them, and that you will be closing the deal. 51% of buyers visited an open house as a way to search for homes. Unfortunately, today, just with all of everything that's happening due to the COVID, open houses are not, done in the same way as they were done before. And not too many people decide to go to an open house, either. People opt more for virtual open houses. So there is a little bit less an opportunity to be there and to pick up the buyer at an open house. But hopefully very soon this whole situation will end, and open houses will continue to be one of the best ways to find potential leads and buyers. I myself, very first buyer that I ended up working with was a lead from an open house. And I just wanted to share this story with you because it happened, I was doing an open house together with another agent, and there were multiple people that came through that property that day. We ended up with about 10 leads at the end of the day, and decided to follow up on them together. And we decided to split them, for one of us to follow up with 5 and the other one with the other 5, and then to switch and keep them engaged. There was one couple that came, and we felt we had really great chemistry with them, super responsive. Followed up with them for literally 2 months, did not hear a word back from them. And then suddenly a phone call came, and this couple said, "We're ready to meet with you. We're ready to start looking for houses." And they mentioned during that conversation, I said, you know what, we really appreciate you being so on top of it and following up with us. He said, we've been going to open houses for a couple of months, and people always ask us to sign up. They're signing, to sign in, their sign-in sheets. And we're always wondering why, because nobody ever reached back to us or followed up, and you were the only ones. And I remember this was 6 months into me being an agent. And it was like a big aha and a big revelation, because you always feel intimidated and I always feel like, how am I going to compete with all of these other agents that have been in business for so long? They have like a great track record. Like, I'm brand new. You're probably feeling overwhelmed, like you don't know very much. Like, there's so much more to learn, and you're feeling insecure how they're going to trust you and not go with someone else who has been in business for a long time. And that was the answer to me when I realized, like, hey, like, all of these big and super busy agents, it seems like they just don't have as much time as I do, and they're not going to be as committed to these clients as I would be, just because right now I don't have any other clients, or might have like one or two potential ones, and I am able to give them all of my attention, which they will never be able to get from others. And if I follow up, like, I really have a very good chance of getting these clients. And sure enough, literally took 2 days of showings and ended up putting an offer on a house and ended up closing with these buyers. So that was my very first experience with buyers. And my personality is such that I love talking to people. Like, I love listening to what they have to say. I really enjoy being in an open house situation. And it just naturally comes as a really great resource of buyer leads to me. There's many other ways how you can, look for them. And you just have to find the one that really works with you. But open houses really remain like one of the best ways to get leads, because these are not just some random people that you're reaching out to, that you might be calling, or even if you're calling your sphere and wondering if anybody is looking to buy or sell or lease real estate, or if anybody knows anybody who does that. At open houses, you are meeting people who are already there, and they are the closest to being real, like, hot leads and actual clients. And there's something that just needs to happen. Some of them might be completely ready and might be like a few weeks away from being able to put in an offer. And for some of them, there is a certain number of things that need to happen in order for them to get there. But you, being the professional and being their guide, you will be educating about what the process looks like, what they need to do, and how they can find out what else is there to happen in order for them to be able to put an offer in and to be able to close when the time comes. So very, very important thing, don't forget to follow up. And follow up is the key to getting buyers and to getting, sellers. And also, after you close the deals, to make sure that these clients continue referring more clients to you and helping you grow the business. So moving on to, apart from, again, open houses, there's many other ways how you can find the buyers. First of all, and which comes very naturally to you, and also in today's situation, it's very important to reach out to your database and mainly concentrate on your sphere of influence. These are the people who know you well, who want you to succeed, and these are the people who will actively look for ways, especially if you remind them and ask them for that, to help you get clients and to help you grow your business. Once you find the buyer, once we find the buyers, we need to cultivate these leads. And this is where the systems that Keller Williams has put in place, and and where the command, which I hope you're all aware of, becomes very, very important and makes your life so much easier. So I would like to just show you on command how help you figure out where you can find these things and how you can use the system that has already been put in place for you. And this is something that has been put together after Keller Williams people and people who were making the command in this whole system. They advised for many, many years with all of the top producers and agents and asking them what they need, like what is it that they need in order to make their life easier and in order to help them do as much business as possible and follow up with so many leads. So one of the great things that Command has is something that's called Smart Plan. And
Dragan, do you want me to open up Command and so you can?
That would be great.
So here's my command here, and then so here's different smart plans right here.
So please know that once you open the smart plans, I hope that you're all familiar with the command. And if you look on the left side under the red KW, there's all of these different icons, like parts of the menu. And the fourth one down right there, it's called Smart Plans. So Smart Plans are the systems that were put in place that help you follow up and nurture your leads. So one of the the best ones that, let's say, we're talking about right now is called My Open House Follow-Up. Ed, can you scroll up just for a second? Sure. Please make sure that you know that if you've just started on the command and if you click on My Smart Plans, once you open this page would be empty. So in order for you to find the already existing smart plans that they're already put in the system, you just need to go to this tab on the top, which turns blue once you hover over it. It's called Library. And there are already preset smart plans for you. So there's one that's called Promote My App. There is like a bi-weekly neighborhood nature. There's quarterly call plan. Long-term nurture, birthdays, open house, follow-up, and all that. Some of the really great ones are, for example, open house follow-up or the long-term nurture. So in order to add them to your smart plans, you just need to go on the bottom left side of each one of these blocks, of each one of these smart plans, and just click on it. Just say Add Smart Plans, and it is going to move it from the library into your own library of smart plans that you want to apply. So once you have all of that, and can you open one of them, Ed? Can you open My Open House Follow-Up? So look at this. So these are all of the things that should happen if you apply this smart plan. So there's going to be you're gonna send an initial SMS to them. You're going to, the system is then, and there is already an automatic text message, which you can further customize. If you can use it as is, or you can further customize that is going to be automatically sent to your lead if you enter their phone number and their email into the system. So it's going to be follow up by waiting for 1 day, then you're going to have another interaction with the contact. Then you're going to wait for 2 days. If you don't hear back, you're going to make a phone call. If you don't hear back, you're going to send another text or another phone call or another email. Again, these are already preset for you, but if you don't agree with them, or maybe they don't quite work for every single contact that you make, you have the opportunity also to customize this so that they really work with what feels natural and right for you, because you like, that's how you like to work, and especially knowing your leads and feeling what works for them. It's very important, like for example, like if you have the opportunity, like at an open house or during the buyer consultation, like when you're talking to these leads, also find out for them, like what's their preferred method of communication. Ask them, like, what works best for you? Like, do you like to like talk on the phone? Like, do you like to text, or like is email the best? Like, and people will let you know. I always believe that it's very, very important to keep that conversation going and to have phone calls with your clients. But in some situation, like text and emails will be helpful as well, like especially if you're nurturing these leads. So once you add this, and once you have your library of these smart plans, if you go to any of the contacts, so Ed is now gonna go, can you go to, yeah, so the second tab on the left is contacts. And if you pick any contact in that list over there, can you click on Aaron, for example? And you can add this person to a smart plan. I think also if you double click on a contact that you also get an option. So you see now on the right-hand side, you can click on smart plans and you can add a specific smart plan to that contact, just depending on what you want it to be. Let's say, you know, like you're just following up the open house, so do the smart plan, my open house follow-up. If you just close this deal with, you know, like this client, you're gonna move them to, you like the birthday, you like follow up, or the home anniversary, or like a quarterly, you like neighborhood market update, whatever is appropriate. But this is a way how you like, we help you with the systems that are already in place and placed, you know, like put together after the best practices for all the top producers were combined to come up something that really works best for making sure that you cultivate your client and you bring them to the point when they are ready to become a willing, able, and ready buyer who is well qualified and ready to start the process. Any questions as of right now, guys? Okay. So this is it, and I encourage you, you know, like take time whenever you have time. Play with the command, like play with all of this, you know, like systems and, you know, like different, you know, like opportunities and options that are available, and you will see how they all together, they make just so much sense. And master one by one. Don't feel too overwhelmed at the moment right now. This will take time, but please also know that if you have any questions in regards to the command, you can always, you know, like in the upper right corner, like on every page of command, there is a question mark. And if you click on it, that's like a help button, which gives you several different options how you can get answer to your questions. The chances of already existing answers are pretty great. So you should be able, through Keller Williams University, to be able to search, you know, like by keywords and find answers to your questions. Also, there is a way that you can check, you can chat with someone from Command Center, or if you don't find the answer to your questions, or if you have some great ideas, you can also one of the available options, and Ed is now sharing on his screen on the right-hand side, is post an idea. If you see something that hasn't been addressed, that it's not there, but you think it would be super helpful, the great thing that this command is an ever evolving system, and they will listen and they will implement your ideas if they really make a sense.
By the way, Dragon, let me just add in here really quick too. Another place to find great documentation on command. If you go to answers.kw.com, you can just click on command support. And this is KW's, what do you call it? Information all about command. So in here, you can find pretty much any topic you want. And almost everything is in here, and it's pretty well documented. Like for most things, like we were just talking about smart plans. Let me see if I can find it in here. So here's a bunch of, all these articles are all on smart plan. And if you open one of them up, they're pretty well documented. Like this one's for creating a custom smart plan. And they have, illustrations and everything kind of walking you through. So it's a really great resource. Again, this is answers.kw.com, and I'll put it in the chat bar so you guys have it.
So in addition to this, I also wanted to make sure that you guys are aware that our brokerage, together with our partners in the area, there is about, I believe, 14 different brokerages that's under the same ownership. There is an ongoing weekly command classes that are happening sometimes once, sometimes twice a week. And if you are able to join these classes as they're happening, great. If not, there is also a library of YouTube classes led by a tech guru who is covering all of these market centers and working out of the Keller Williams Beverly Hills. His name is Blake Petska, and he is really wonderful, super easy to understand. You can ask questions during these sections. You can email him afterwards. So please know that if you have questions, there's so many ways to get the answers and to continue your progress through command, which is going to make your life so much easier. So going back to qualify. So now that we learned how you can, cultivate buyer leads, you're going to keep them informed about the market. You're going to find out what their questions are, what they're feeling overwhelmed with, or what they're feeling, what they have questions about, because all of our clients' insecurities are coming from them not knowing and having some preset, in most of the cases, misconceptions. Many clients think oh, I would love to buy, but I can't qualify right now. Without even having a conversation with the lender in the first place and finding out really if they can qualify or not. Letting them know what the situation is right now. This is a great time for anybody to get amazing interest rates. Right now, we're talking about the interest rates around 3% or a slightly over, which has been unheard of, the lowest ever. And even with market kind of being unpredictable, but still happening an amazing rate all over the town, if buyers can get qualified with this super low interest rates, they might not ever need to refinance again, and ever get any lower rate. You want to connect them with the lender on time, so not only that they can find out if they can qualify right now, but so that they can also find out what is it that they need to do in order to be ready in, let's say, 6 months or in 12 months to be ready willing and able to purchase and start building their wealth. So this, this is, like apart from referring your buyer leads to, the lenders, we want to qualify our buyers also so that we can use our time wisely and we can decide whether the new lead that we met is someone who is able, ready, and willing to purchase right now, or they're able and ready, but not just now for whatever the reason is, or it's just something that's going to happen down the line. So we're also going to treat them and cultivate these leads differently based on where they are, and how ready they are. We're of course going to concentrate mostly on the, or the A leads, which are the ones who are able, ready, and willing to purchase right now. Because if you ask them just even a simple questions, if we found, tell them, sometimes it happens, takes a couple of months to find the right property for, my clients, but it has happened many times before that even after the first time we go out, we find something that's a perfect match for you. Will you be ready to write an offer? I'm going to say yes, or they're going to say no. And it's up to you to find out what's that no. And if there is something objective, or it's just something, that they have to wait for something to happen and they are maybe not A, but they're B and C, buyers. So you're not going to give them as much attention as to the A leads, but you're still going to cultivate them because the time will come when they will be also able, willing, and ready to buy. So I don't know if you've ever, if you had a chance to look at the buyer lead sheet already, which is in your toolkit, and that guides you through the buyer qualification. But this lead sheet is a great tool to find out more about your clients so that you know exactly what they are looking for, what their preferences are, what about the communication with you, about what they are looking for, who all are decision makers. You also want to find out if they're A, B, or C lead. You want to find out what their motivation is, because the key working with clients is in their motivation. If you're getting all the red flags and and they're telling you they're not really that motivated, the chances are they're not your A lead. So you just know how to divide your time in the wisest way possible. So, that you're answering their needs, but you have correct expectations, you have right expectations from them, and that they have right expectations from you. So you take a look at this buyer lead sheet, just check out, with them. You also want to make sure that they're not working with anybody else already. And because if they have a buyer agreement signed with another agent, the chances are that agent is going to be getting the commission, whether you are showing them the property or not. So again, you want to manage your time wisely. You also want to explain to your clients why it is very important for you to have this buyer agreement signed with them, because in real estate, everything is about three main contracts. And one is signed between you as an agent and your buyer clients, and it's called the buyer's representation agreement. The second one is called the listing agreement, and that's an agreement between sellers and the listing agents representing them. And then the third big contract is the purchase agreement, which is signed between buyer and seller. In order for you to get paid at the end of the day, it is highly recommended that you do have this buyer representation agreement signed. And in addition to making you look much more professional and assuring them, especially if they're coming from, like if their personal referral coming from, like if there's someone from your database or a friend of a friend, you want to make it very clear to them that even though you're friends, you're treating this as a business, and you understand everything that's at stake with them, that this is one of the biggest purchases and decisions they're going to make in their lives. And it's also going to help you like create that very professional and respectful relationship between you and the buyer, so they know that you're both committing to each other, that like you can tell them, in order for me to provide the level of service that I do, I can only work with a handful of clients at the same time. And in order for me to be able to be loyal to you and to commit to you, like I expect the same for you, because like it would not be fair to my other clients if I didn't, like dedicate enough time to everyone who needs me on this level. And the buyer representation agreement is a very simple agreement, which you all should be very familiar with and always bring with you to your consultations. And you want to have them, like to attempt and hopefully have it signed at the end of your consultation. It just outlines, like your information, their information. It lets them know how commission is handled. And this is one of the big asks that they have and they're not clear about, like, and a great opportunity for you to explain to them that in 99.9% of the cases, it is not them paying you the commission, it's the seller paying you the commission. So like that, they don't have to pay you anything, and you're taking the risk together with them to make sure that their interests are best protected, and that like in the end they're going to get the property that like they're looking for. And so everything is outlined, like whose responsibility is to like to pay your commission, how long you will be working together for. We normally recommend that this is signed for a 6-month period. And some of them will be nervous. They're going to be wondering, like, and saying, like, what if it doesn't work out? I don't know about you, but I believe that even when they sign this like agreement, and for whatever period it is, for 6 months, for 3 months, if for some reason, and there's no, like, there's no guarantee that every time it's going to be the like perfect match between you and your client. And if things are not working out, if they're feeling that you are not doing what you promised them to do, like, or it's just like might not be the right match for you, you might be finding out that they have some expectations which are not realistic, or they have, like, it's just not a personality match, and it might be in their best interest, which you should be worrying about. And this is your fiduciary duty to recommend that if things are not working with you, that they might be better off working with someone else. I would never hold my clients hostage and keep them under the agreement if things are not right and they're not working out, because I believe that's not in my client's best interest. So I always assure them that it's just very important. We are on the same team. We're working together. If they have questions, if they have concerns, to let me know so that I can address them on time. And if at the end, if we discover it's not the right match, like, we will let them go, like, out of this like agreement, and help them find someone who possibly might be a better match. Ed, what do you think? Like, should we maybe break into the groups, maybe just to run a little role play about the buyer qualification?
Sounds great. So does everybody have their, I see Timothy, Eric, and Elmas, and Jennifer. Are you guys all available to do, can we split up into groups really quick here to do, we're going to do some breakout rooms. We're going to go over the buyer lead sheet. Is that right? Dragana?
Yeah, buyer qualification,
So does everybody, first of all, does everybody have the lead sheet? Let me make sure we can get that to everybody first. Do you all have that, the buyer lead sheet that was in the toolkit? Okay, let me make sure I can get that to everybody first really quick. This. Give me 1 second here and I can share it in the chat bar. Okay, give me 1 second.
So while the Ed is doing it, I just, wanted to make sure that so make sure that you ask for the business, so if you are talking to someone who might be a friend, or is maybe a referral from family or friends, or if you're meeting someone at a party, if you're meeting someone at an open house, it's very important that you let them know what you do and what you can do for them, and ask for their business and ask for the appointment as part of your follow-up. And don't ask the questions it's always better to ask questions that they are not going to answer with yes or no, but just give them something to choose from. So just say I have great systems in place and I really want to go over this whole process with you so that to make sure that you absolutely understand every single part of it. And let's get together, in this same chance you say, let's get together, on a Zoom call, and just offer them something. Just say this tomorrow at 3 p.m. or Friday, 1 p.m. works for you. And just give them two options. They either gonna, highly likely they will pick one of these, or they might say I can't do at 1, but I can do at 2 o'clock. And then schedule it, because without that appointment, you can't take them through the process. You can't go over the agreement. You can't qualify them, and you cannot have that agreement signed. So it's very important. Follow up, set up the appointment, educate them, ask them what questions they have, answer these questions, and then explain to them what the agreement is about and ask them to sign that agreement. Very important.
Okay, guys, so we're going to break out into breakout rooms here through Zoom. So you don't have to do anything. You're just going to end up in a room with 2 other people. Let's see, I'm guessing that, by the way, I just put the buyer lead sheet in the chat bar. So you may need to be able to open that, maybe print it out really quick. And then we're going to, so one of you guys are going to play the buyer, and somebody's going to play the agent. And we're going to do that we're going to do this role play for about 7 or 8 minutes. So it's time enough for you guys to go through it twice. Spend a few minutes going through it where one person is the buyer and one is the agent, and then swap, right? And then we're gonna and then swap, and then we'll come back in this room. So all you have to do is just stay put. We're gonna assign everybody the rooms. So I'm guessing that Julia, Michael, Amal, Eric, you guys are all available, right? Raise your hand. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So Timothy, Elmas, and Jennifer. I'm not sure who's available, who's not. So I'll put those people together, and then Dragan and I will be able to float in and out of the different rooms to see how it's all going. Okay. So bear with me here. This is my first time doing a breakout room. So
are you talking about the buyer consultation pre-qualification questions or the other?
The buyer lead sheet. If you look in the chat, now, Ed posted the PDF.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, this is also available in the Ignite toolkit, which you all have available to you as well.
Yeah, I have that open.
Okay, so Elmas is not available. Okay, and okay, so I'll put Timothy and Jennifer together. Okay, so here we go. You guys are gonna end up in rooms of 2. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is so cool. All right, so let's see. All right, so we'll meet back up here in about it's 12:23. We'll meet back up here at 12:30. Okay. So you guys don't need to do anything. You're all be going to your own room. Okay. Ready,
So
set,
how do
go.
we practice? Hmm.
And then
So
draw.
Ed, like Elmas is saying he's not able to?
Correct. So Elmas, I didn't put her in a room, so she's going to stay
Okay.
here. This is
Okay.
main room. So Dragana, you down at the bottom of your screen, you probably have like underneath the Zoom people, it says breakout rooms.
Uh-huh.
You can pop in and out of the other rooms to see how things are going and just observe if you want or say hi or whatever.
Okay. Let me just.
Just started doing, or
Yeah,
have you been?
we've been looking for about a month.
Okay.
Just just seeing what's going on.
And why are you moving? Is it because of the kids? Did you want more space, or?
Yeah, it's more space. I figured now's the time to actually get a house instead of continue to rent.
Right. Okay. So you're renting now. Do you know when your lease is up?
Okay.
So, hi Tim, how are you?
I'm good. Jennifer, how have you been?
I'm pretty locked up, really.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's start this. I noticed you're trying to find something, right? To find a house. Has an agent taken you out and shown you any properties yet?
No, I've just been kind of looking around, seeing what's on the market, going to open houses, but no, I don't have an agent.
Oh, you don't have one. Is there anyone else buying the home with you?
Questions with some additional questions with them. So if you can, if you want to just go through it, if you don't want to tune in, like just go through it and let me know if you have any questions.
Quickly, Dragan, are you working with Elmas here?
Yeah, I was trying to, but she says so she said that she's going to go through questions and ask if there is any questions. And I'm trying to figure out how to go into other rooms, looking at the bottom of the screen, but
Down below where it says security, participants, chat, share screen, next to it, it says breakout rooms. If you don't see it, there might be 3 dots. And if you click on that, maybe it'll show up there. But you should have a place that says breakout rooms, and you can pop in and out of the rooms. I've gone through all the other ones, and they're all doing great practicing.
Okay, great.
I'm going to pop out here and go through them one more time.
Okay.
So, thank you. I would love that.
Okay. If you don't mind me ask you, what is the amount that you'll be looking for a house?
I would say right now the budget would be about 300,000.
Okay, and what is the amount that you'll be prepared for down payment?
But I mean, like, you followed everything, so it's.
Yeah, I feel like once you know like all of the topics that you need to hit, I mean, you answered some of the questions that I would have asked later on. So once you kind of have in your head and you've practiced it a few times, you can kind of just like mentally check those things off as you're going. And it probably wouldn't sound like so scripted.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, this is a really great,
You're comfortable with.
I would say probably between the 1 to 2 million.
Okay, is anyone else involved in your home buying decision?
Yes, my brother.
Oh, so that's simple. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning you must buy a home as quickly as possible, and a 1 meaning you're not sure you'll really buy anything, how would you rate yourself?
Probably around I would say a 4 or 5.
Oh, you're not in a rush.
No, not in a rush.
All righty. So let me see more. When would you like to be in your new home then?
Should we bring everyone back, Ed?
Everyone's still kind of, they're working away.
Okay.
Like, cool, this is my first time using this, and I was able to like pop in and out of the different rooms. It's fun.
Almas, do you have any questions after going through this questionnaire?
Hey, Dragana, I'm assuming you were talking to Elmas, right? Not me.
Yes, I'm trying. I just texted a message also through the chat. Should we go back, Ed, just because it's like 12:31?
Yep, I'm gonna give them a 1-minute warning right now.
Okay. So Almas is okay. She's gone through all the questions and understands like what the purpose is. Like I've been chatting back and forth.
Oh, great, great. Yeah, it would be hard enough to stay on schedule, and I'm realizing just with Zoom, just some of the things that happen, it makes it even harder to stay on schedule. And the fact that we started 5 minutes late because I was having a tech issue, that did not help. So yeah, we'll run some minutes over. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna bring everybody back. Oh, I went to close the rooms and it said they'll close in 60 seconds. So we're gonna have another minute. We're learning as we go.
Exactly.
Oh no, I want the, oh, there it is, still there.
Hello again.
Oh,
How is everyone feeling about this questionnaire? Like, do we just wanted to make sure that everyone understand what the purpose of it is, and like how really helpful this is to help you guys save time, really understand the needs of your buyers, and know how to best help them with all their needs.
Wonderful. I never did anything like this in my life. I don't know how I did anything. It's brilliant. Ed, can I just copy it, or is it available all the time?
Oh, the buyer sheet. So in Ignite, there is a, hold on, let me do this. Let me share with you how to find the toolkit.
Well, you know, I've got the old Ignite book, the big old fat book. Is it in there?
No, that's not, you don't want to go there. Let me show you something. Give me 1 second here. Let me pull it up.
While you're looking for it, Ed, I just want everybody to know, like in the chat, I entered all of my information, guys. As always, if you have any questions, if you want to get another perspective, feel free to reach out to me. I'm really, really always happy to help however I can. I also shared like 2 links. One was the class that we did a couple of weeks ago on smart plans in Command. And the other one is for the YouTube channel with all of these Command classes that have been happening like since March. So you can go back, look through the library and find whatever, you know, like you would like to learn about next, about different parts of the Command. So copy and paste them somewhere where you know you're gonna find them. I posted them in the chat.
And really quickly, I'm going to share my screen here again. And oh, okay, there we are. So this is, if you go to kwconnect.com, this is the home page there. And if you go to the top here under resources, KWU, I'm going to click there. And here's Ignite 2.0. Remember, we want Ignite 2.0, not the old Ignite. We want the new Ignite. Just click here. So there's also workbooks for each class so you can follow along, and it has stuff to fill out. Hopefully, my recommendation would be each day when we have the class, I would print it out ahead of time so you can take notes in the workbook as we go. And they're not long. Each one's like 10 or 15 pages. So here are all the different classes. Up above, it says download the Ignite Toolkit. If you click here, this has all the different tools that are in the toolkit. You've got a buyer lead sheet, a seller pre-listing packet, a seller pre-qualifying script. There's all sorts of great stuff in there. And I'm going to take this link and I'm going to stop sharing here and I'm going to put it in the chat bar so you can also access it that way as well.
So ideally, you will have this conversation like with your buyers before your buyer consultation. So for me, it's a great idea while you're setting up the consultation and the time and you're having that, you know, like conversation, try to get as much of this information that's on this questionnaire ahead of your appointment so that you have time to better prepare for your appointment. If they're looking, for example, like in an area that you're not quite familiar with, you still have time to learn all you can about it. You're like, or if it's something that's completely, you know, like not your area of expertise, you can connect with another Keller Williams agent who specializes in that area, you know, like someone in our office, or if it's another area which, you know, like we don't specialize in or cover, we'll find someone who is an expert wherever it is, who can be very helpful to prepare you for your appointment or possibly even help you like with that search or however it is. So while you're doing that, it also, you like, it can help you prepare your buyer's consultation package, which is something that I always bring to presentation. And that's something that at the end of the appointment, I give to my clients. That's something that they take with them, that has all of my information, that has all my branding on it. And it kind of explains even deeper everything that you discussed during that buyer consultation. And it's a great resource that they can keep coming back to, like after that initial appointment or later on, you know, like during the search. I can share with you quickly like what my consultation package looks like, so that you get an idea. And then afterwards, you like Ed will show us you like where you can find the template for this, which already exists. Again, you do not have to reinvent the wheel. We have already done it for you, and it already exists in Keller Williams systems. So both the buyer consultation and the listing presentation, the templates are there. It's up to you to decide to use them as they are, or to customize them based on your, like what you find works best for you, what you think might work better for one client or another. So you just have that option. Just use it as is for the time being. And as you go, and also you like at the very beginning, you might be using like one version of it. Then like in 6 months or in a year, you're constantly going to be revising it based on what you experience and what you find would be helpful to your clients. So let me just open up mine, and I will share with you guys on the screen. Let me just share this now. Ed, can I share a document?
Yep, absolutely. So pull it up on your screen, and then down below at the bottom of Zoom, you'll see a button. I think it's in green that says share screen. Yep, there you go.
Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so let me just, so this is the buyer consultation. You know, like I like to personalize it to you like put the date, like and the name of the client. I open up with a little like personal letter. Again, that's something that I already have, something that I put together, and then I customize for every client based on whatever information I have about them up until that moment, so that it feels like really organic and personal. During the consultation, I will be referencing this sketch of the home buying process. And it's a great idea to have it as part of the package, because then you can, you know, like open it up and you can actually like have a visual to share with them even during the consultation, explain to them the whole process, and at the end, again, ask them if they have any more questions. You want them to leave that consultation feeling very confident, knowing what all is involved in that process, and you assuring them not to worry, as you will be right there next to them during the whole process and will help them figure out each and every part of it. So like one of the things that we discussed on that, you know, like a qualification questionnaire was like, you will be finding out if they're planning to make a cash, you know, like offer, if they're able to purchase with cash, or they're going to be getting a loan. Then you explain to like majority of clients, you like will be getting a loan, and you want to explain the loan process and explain the importance of getting pre-approved, because in today's market, no offer will be taken seriously if it's not accompanied by a pre-approval. And you will also, you should have a database of the lenders that you can recommend to your clients in case they're already not working with one, you know, like, and you can educate them about what is the difference between a traditional lender, between a mortgage broker, like what are different options, also based on what their own setup, and explaining to them that you like pre-approval for every single person is different, you know, like depending on their income, on all of their other financial circumstances, like on their job situation and so forth. And as part of your qualification process, you will be making sure that they talk to a lender to find out if they're ready, and if they're ready, what's the amount that they're pre-approved for, because you don't want to go showing the houses that are outside of their price range. And you also want to open up their search in case they get pre-approved for more than they initially thought they would be. You want to explain to them how the process of making an offer looks, what will be like discussed. You want to briefly, like, I don't like to go into too much details, like during the, that buyer consultation, because they can sometimes feel too overwhelmed, but you want to make sure that it's part of your package and that they can refer to it if they have other questions down the line, and as you go together through the process with them. And then explain to them what all is needs to happen in order to close. You will also, maybe provide like a helpful checklist for them, and the most important thing that you should be discussing, and that's the conversation you start during the qualification and then during the consultation, it's to really single out what are their top 5 needs and their top 5 wants. 5 needs being something that they absolutely need to have, or some limitations, budget being one of them, whether it's 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, whether it's an area they need to be close to work or whatever it is. So what are the 5 things that are deal breaker for them? And then what else is they would like to have, and it would be nice to have, but it's not an absolute must. So once you clarify that, later on during the search process, it's a good thing for them to do this exercise and for you to remind them about this list. Because the client's always looking for something that's like 100% match. And there's always going to be some, even a small compromise they will have to make, and just remind them that there's never going to be like 100% match. But what they need to always go back to is what are their top 5 needs, and then what else is there that they might need to make a compromise in order for them to have their dream realized of owning their first home and start building their wealth. And then you're going to explain to them what their expectations should be, how the search is going to look like. You're going to, based on all the feedback and the thorough conversation you have with them, you're going to be looking for the homes that are the right match for them. You're going to be sending them the listings, which are going to have like the street address, the photographs of the home, like the current asking price, the square footage, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, like everything else. And then once they narrow down their selections from whatever you will be suggesting to them, you will organize showings, and if that's something that they're really interested in, you're going to be then helping them figure out what really is the market value of their property. And if they want to put an offer in, advise them what you think would be needed in order to have a winning offer, and providing data and statistics so that you're not just talking about it, but you're basing it on a thorough research and knowledge of the market. Again, very, very important, and the purpose of this buyer consultation is to make them feel comfortable, and that they know that it's all about them, that it's about their needs, about their dreams, concerns, questions about their finances, time, and their life, and that you understand what's at stake, and that you will be with them every step of the way and make sure that your search is successful. Ed, do you want, so this is my presentation that I use, and sometimes, I customize it a little bit, and Ed is going to share with you where you guys can find something that you can start from.
Perfect. Dragan, do you want to stop sharing on your screen? So
yeah, I will do that.
Should be up at the top.
The
very top of your screen, you probably have something that says view options.
Stop share, yes.
Perfect. So let me do this, let me share. So here we are back in Command. And so when you open up Command, if you go on the left side, most of the way down is this little icon that looks like a little tablet with a pencil. That's the Designs applet. So I'm gonna open up, I'm gonna click the green plus sign on the bottom right is how we start a new document. and I'm going to do a print one. Now, even though right now we're doing a lot of virtual presentations, so we're probably going to end up doing this virtually, it's still considered a print template. So now bear with me. Whenever I'm sharing while I'm running a Zoom call, it makes whatever I'm sharing run slower. So my computer is not usually this slow, only when I'm running Zoom. So again, here's all the different templates of all sorts of different print stuff we can do. And we want to go under here to buyer. Oops, buyer, there we go. And we go to buyer presentation. And there's two different ones to choose from. You have a classic model and a modern one. So let's open up the modern one. And so here's a template. Now you're going to want to customize this. This one here, it's just out of the box. There's a bunch of stuff you can add on here. If you haven't seen it yet, Blake Petska does a great one on customizing the listing presentation. I would take a look at that because it kind of shows you how to add pages and customize them and all that. And you're going to want to customize the listing presentation anyways. But once you do that, you can also use that the same techniques to modify the buyer consultation. So for example, Dragan, I was just showing us here how she has, so you're going to want to swap in, the DBA name for Keller Williams Larchmont, client name, you're going to want to customize this and put your client's name in here. Say Joe Sullivan. And et cetera. You can go do that. You may add other pages to customize some different things that you work with.
So you can keep all the pages, you can delete the pages that you don't think are like necessary. You can edit this to make it shorter or add new stuff, whatever you think would work best for you. I always think that less is more. And, and again, you can have more stuff in this presentation, that you will deliver to your client, like the printed version that they can keep referring to, but don't get stuck on explaining every single little thing during that consultation, because you don't want it to last too long as well. Like you want that to keep it short, super informative, touch on the main things, answer their main questions and concerns, and then move on.
I totally agree with Dragan. So my kind of MO, how I've been running these days, is that I would have this buyer consultation. I would customize it, a good amount, and then I would have it printed. There's places where you can get these printed out as really nice booklets. They'll even do a perfect binding, they call them, where it's just a beautiful looking packet. You can include that in a nice trifold envelope with a sample contract, with a sample BRE, some other stuff. You can mail it to your clients and then do a virtual buyer consultation. But I wouldn't spend a long time going through every page line item by line item that's printed. I would just pick the most pertinent ones, to go over with them.
And you can also, the beauty of this, especially in times like this, is, once you finalize this presentation, if you have a chance, yes, absolutely have a hard copy delivered to your clients. And if you can present it in a nice way, either in our Keller Williams folders, or we have really nice in the office that you can buy, beautiful binding. I believe it's under $10, but it looks like it's leather bound. Or we have those, spiral bindings. There's so many different ways, and present, put it in email, send it to clients. And if you don't want to delay things, you can also, after your consultation, you can follow up and send to them a digital version of it. They can keep on their computer, and refer to it wherever they are, so they don't need to look at the booklet. So spend some time, because also these guys are really great and helpful, because reminding you about everything that, you know, like your clients should know and you should discuss with them, and also figuring out what you want to keep in it and what's the best representation of who you are as an agent, what you're doing for your clients, and of your branding as well.
Wonderful.
So going back to, you know, like where we were is, you know, like, again, you want to go briefly over the agreement with your clients. You want to explain what it is. Make sure that you know the agreement, read it, understand it, because if they ask you the questions, you are the professional and you should explain to them like what they are signing and what you're signing, and explain that it's mainly about setting up the right expectations and just putting it in a formal form so that you guys build this, you know, like very successful business relationship. Is there any questions that you guys have based on everything that we covered?
Any questions at all? Last chance.
I think you covered it pretty well.
Least? And again, you know, like you might not have questions right now. Questions might come up. You have amazing coach Ed here that you can always reach out to. You know, like we are all there for you guys. We've all been there. We are happy to, you know, like give you an advice, give you an opinion, remind you about what it takes to get somewhere and what we've all been through, what we've discovered, and remind you of what you need to do. But most importantly, lead generate and education. Stick with Ignite. I highly, highly recommend that you do it in the order that Ignite is, you know, like has organized the presentation of a material, because it's like the most logical order and will really help you understand what all is involved. And yes, you might feel overwhelmed and things might feel like, you know, like there's just like so much, but the more you are into it, the more things will start making sense and falling in the right place, you know, like of that big puzzle. I also highly recommend, like even, you know, like in a year, like 6 months, or even like the next section of Ignite, or in 6 months or in 2 years, go back to Ignite, like do it again. If you listen, like the great thing about how we do like Ignite in our office, you have a chance to hear from different agents. Different agents have different personalities. They have different styles. They also have their own experiences of working with clients, and every one of us brings something different to the table. And things can be done differently, you know, like many things, you know, like, and how they, you know, like they can be, you know, like anything could be from how it can be contractually addressed, or to what advice to give to your clients or anything else. And it's, to me, it's always been so helpful to always hear like at least like 2 different perspectives, and to find out what works best for me and for that particular client that I have a question about. And keep in mind that, you know, like even when we're in business for many years, even some agents who have been super, super successful being in business for 10, 20 years, there is so many things that we've never dealt with and we might not even know. But the most important thing, like with anything else you learn, is not only what you know, but only knowing where your resources are and where you can find your answers. And just be sure to know that we are all here to support you, that Command is there, all the Keller Williams systems. There's so many places where you can find the answers. So if you look, you will find them and you will be successful. And just follow the steps that you need to, and time block and lead generate every single day, and go back to your daily task. And Don't let a day go by without doing something. If something comes up, you have family obligations, make sure that you schedule time to make up for what you were not able to do. Because if you stick and you do what you're supposed to do, it will pay off in the end for sure. And there will be a huge difference made. I wish you all the best. And I wish you a great experience with Ignite. I wish you good luck in converting your friends, family, friends of friends, and people you meet in the grocery store, at the gas station, or anywhere else, converting them into leads, and leads into buyers, and then into repeat customers, because that's how it all works. I wish you a great day and a great week, and it was so great to meet with all of you today, and I look forward to possibly teaching another class this session as well.
Awesome.
Thank
Let's
you.
all give a round of applause to Dragana. Thank you,
Thanks,
Dragana,
Dragana.
for teaching the class.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Dragana.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day. We'll see y'all soon.